All right. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing good today. All right. In best of spirits and health. We are going to be cooking some dinner. Yes. Today, we're going to be frying some yellowtail snapper. And we're going to be enjoying that with a nice pickle on the side, right? Yes. So, let's get started. So here, we have a chocho. In the islands, that's what we call it. But some people know it as chayote, right? We're gonna go ahead and remove that skin off the outside of this. So we just wanna thinly peel this. Let's get the other side. Now this is one of those type of veggies that is very mild in flavor, right? It has a very crunchy texture. So these things tend to go good with, you know, whenever you make like pickle sauces and stuff like that. Slightly similar to a cucumber. Cut this in half again, and usually that little white piece there, we'll cut that out. Go ahead and do the same for this piece here. We're gonna go ahead and cut these up very thinly. All right, that way they absorb that flavor fast. Okay, looking for something like that. All right, let's go ahead and transfer that to our bowl here. Of course, we got a white onion here. As usual, you just want to peel that outer layer off. And sometimes, like I say, when you see the onion and it's discolored, that means those are usually no longer good, right? So you want to peel that layer off and try to get to the more crunchy part of the onion. Now this one, we're just going to cut this here. Alright, give you an idea here. Something like that. Just cut them up into small strips like that. Those are going to go perfect when we saute them later. Here we have some baby cucumbers. All right. Now, as usual, we're gonna go ahead and also remove the skins off of these. It just gives for a more cleaner taste. Now, again, if you find these and they're organic, then you can use the skin. We're gonna cut these on an angle also. Alright, should look something like that. Here we're also going to be adding some carrots. Now Now we're gonna snip these ends off. And I also like to scrape the outer skin off, right? Now, understanding how to gauge your recipes, it's easy if you just kind of figure out how much people you're making for. And as you buy your ingredients, you know, you kind of figure, okay, I got 3 people, so maybe I might need to pick up 3 bananas, right? So that's a great start to learning to creating your own recipes. Alright, let's get the last one here. Now, kind of gonna give these the same procedure. You wanna cut these pretty thinly because the carrots are a little bit thick. So you wanna make sure that they have enough chance and enough time to absorb all that goodness, right? That we're gonna saute them in later. Now, whenever you see like the bigger pieces, you know, you can always go ahead and just give those a smaller cut. So, you know, going for something looking something like that, right? Last one to go. Let's cut those down. Prepping is exhausting, but it's fun though, because you know it's the beginning stage of putting that special meal together, right? It all starts right here. So again, pace yourself, making sure that you have enough time, right? And yeah, it will come together. So we're also gonna be adding some shishito peppers. Go ahead and just pick those snips off. These are just gonna absorb up all that flavor again during the sauteing process. I'm just gonna still keep these in pretty decent bite-sized pieces. And these are not hot at all, so you can find these in the grocery store, right? Something looking like that. We're also gonna be adding some radish. Yes. Oh, there's some nice ones here. Let's just pluck a couple of these off. And again, one of those ingredients that's very mild in flavor, but it's perfect for pickles. And of course, I've already cleaned these already, so everything is always ready to go. Just snipping off the ends here. Now, we're gonna try to cut these as thin as possible. Alright, something like that. Another rule again, just remember when using this knife, be patient, be calm, don't get reckless. Because if you don't control yourself, you're gonna end up cutting off a bit of your finger. Alright, looking good. Let's go right inside of our thing here. Here we have some Yellowtail Snappers. Yes, these are some nice ones. These probably like a pound, and you know, just a little bit over a pound. And remember, we always want to pay attention to the eyes, right? We want to make sure these are nice and fresh. So we always look to make sure the eyes are nice and bright, not sunken in. The flesh is nice and firm, and again, you know, you want it to have a nice fishy smell, but not smelling like it's rotten, right? So once you do that check, the next step is to check for scales. Now I recommend taking a fork like this one here and, you know, go in the opposite direction on the belly, face going towards the head, right? You want to rub in that direction and look for any leftover scales. Like here we go, I have a few pieces here. Sometimes once they're done at the butcher, you know, they'll leave a few behind, right? So it's your job to make sure again that you're double checking and you get any extras. As you see, there's clearly a bunch on this one. Now I've already cleaned these inside just by rinsing them in some fresh water with a little bit of lime. That's usually good, right? If you don't have limes, you can use white distilled vinegar, you know, lemons. This is the last one here. So let's go ahead and put some scores on these fish here. That's just gonna help that seasoning to penetrate nice, right? So we just wanna put some marks. I like to go all the way to the bone. Just an angle. Just like that, right? Nice. Now, here we have some of that BadBwoy seafood jerk, right? Now, this is packed with scallion and thyme and ginger and all type of goodness, right? Now, this will be available soon on our website. Once that's up and running, I'll let you guys know. But you can use any type of fish seasoning you have at home. You can even just do some simple salt and pepper, a little paprika. Guys, you can play around with these seasonings and make your own little customized mix, right? That's the fun about food. You want to play with it. You want to make sure that, you know, you're trying new things. So we're going to go ahead and season these up here. Want to get in those slits real nicely. All right, and of course, you know, we cannot forget about the belly. And these are pretty, like I say, decent sized fish, so you can put a little bit of extra seasoning on them. And also, this is very low sodium, so means you get to use a little bit more for more flavor without all that added salt, right? These are looking absolutely amazing, right? Just what we're looking for. So it's time to start cooking. Adding the oil, right? I'm gonna add a good amount of oil here because we're gonna deep fry these, right? So I have 2 Scotch bonnet peppers here, which I'm gonna add directly to the oil, and that's just gonna give it that good, nice, spicy flavor, right? Not overly spicy, but it definitely adds some flavor. Now, of course, when cooking, make sure you keep a safe distance, right? I've gotten comfortable, you know, with cooking like this, and I take my time to try my best to avoid accidents, right? But make sure you're being safe. So once you see them start getting nice and golden brown like this, it's usually a perfect time for you to flip them, right? So I'm gonna go in with some coconut oil here. A nice serving of it. That's good. Now we're gonna go ahead and add all our veggies. We're gonna also add those peppers that we fried out in the oil. Now we're gonna add some brown sugar to this. This is just gonna help to kind of counteract the spice from those peppers, right? Just to kind of mellow this sauce out a little bit. We're gonna add some more of that BadBwoy jerk spice here just to boost that flavor up a little bit. Listen, this smells absolutely amazing. Wow, man. So we don't want to overcook these veggies, right? We just want to break that rawness a little bit, but we still want them nice and crunchy and still have the vibrancy in them, right? So at this point in time, we're going to be adding some white distilled vinegar. You can use rice vinegar also, right? Ooh. You can taste that tanginess from the vinegar immediately. Wow. And then it just meets you with a little bit of sweetness from that brown sugar, right? And a very, very, very faint spiciness. Very, very faint. Now, we're gonna go ahead and immediately start adding back the snapper here. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it done with this one here. This is looking amazing and smelling delicious, right? Wow. So, yeah, I guess we can say it's dinner time. Let's go ahead and share us up a plate, right? Okay, let's see, let's go ahead and grab this one here. Load up on some of those onions and stuff. Alright. Yeah. Look a bit of that sauce there. A bit more. Okay, looking amazing, guys. That's what we're. God, we just want to give thanks and praise for another day, right? Yeah, man. Thank you for this beautiful recipe and being able to share it with my beautiful viewers, right? Bless over them and the family as I ask for the same thing for myself, for them, peace and prosperity, right? We say these words in your name we pray, amen. Let's dig in. So guys, presentation wise, this looks amazing, right? Yes, let's dig right in, look at that. Let's get a nice chunk of that fish out of there. Very clean, not aggressive. Even though we fried it, it's so clean. You wouldn't know that is actually a fried fish, right? Let's try some of that chocho. You probably can hear how crunchy that is. That's what we're looking for, right? The veggies aren't overcooked or anything. They still got a nice crunchiness to them. Yes. Wow. Easily a 10 out of 10, right? I got some Italian bread here.
Ow. Ow.
So we got a little bit of the extra sauce here. Go ahead. That bread just sucks up all that sauce, right? Fish here. Nice, simple, healthy, right? Wow. Mm. Wow. Again, the salt, everything was balanced out perfectly, right? Yes. Not over, no grease. Perfect balance, guys. Perfect balance. And radish just absorb of all that vinegar. Mm. Wow. As usual, go ahead and give the recipe a try. And of course, let me know it come out, right? Definitely, definitely off the chain, very simple, delicious, fresh, right? That's what we're looking for. And also, in case you're wondering how you can support Bad Boy Kitchen, I've left a GoFundMe link in the bottom of the description, right? You can just go ahead and check that out. I would just want to say thanks in advance, right? So again, much love. Thanks for tuning in and see you next time. Later.